Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
A beautiful Sunday in Chicago. Let's check in with the big fella downstairs, Tony Siragusa.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Listen, I'm going to be keeping my eye on Pro Bowl guard Kyle Long. This is only going to be his second game ever, and he moved over to right tackle. Last week, he struggled at times, but they're completely two different positions, guard and tackle. Listen, Kyle's an awesome guy. He goes and he plays the guard position like an aggressive mauler type, but you cannot play that way at the tackle position. You need to find some patience. We're going to keep an eye on him. Also, he hurt his right hand last week, and he's going to be wearing a huge club on his right hand. It's just going to be another thing that he's going to have to overcome.
All right, Tony, we'll be checking in and looking into that and so much more throughout the afternoon. Bruce Arians, 62 years young, out of York, Pennsylvania, his third year as head coach of the Cardinals, leading the franchise to 22 wins over the last 2 years in one game. And John Fox, a 60-year-old born in Virginia Beach, raised in San Diego, the son of a Navy SEAL his first year as head coach with the Bears. Arizona won the toss, elected to receive. And this is David Johnson, 9 yards out of his own end zone. Out across the 20 to 25 and a 30. And Dave Johnson crosses midfield. He has the kicker to beat. And Johnson takes the opening kickoff for a touchdown. 108 yards for the rookie out of Northern Iowa, David Johnson. And how about that start for Arizona?
And when he caught the ball 9 yards deep, most people expect you to stop. So maybe there's a little holdup by the receiving team, but he never really just hit the hole and exploded until he got to about the 25-yard line. He sifted his way through, which means one thing. The Arizona Cardinals blocking on this return was terrific, and David Johnson wasn't even touched, found the gap, and took it the distance.
The first time ever Johnson touched the ball in his pro career last week. He had a 55-yard touchdown reception. And here he touches it as a kickoff returner and runs it back officially 108 yards.
See how he goes through? It's not just an immediate explosion, but look at that. Everyone is latched onto a Chicago Bear that's blocking for the Arizona Cardinals. And then once he finds open field, Robbie Gould, the kicker, is the last person to have a chance. And Bruce Arians knew there was no way he was taking down the rookie from Northern Iowa.
And they have been waiting for this for a long, long time. The last time Stevens howling in 2010 at Minnesota, 74 games since the Cardinals last returned to kick off for a touchdown. And that is the longest kickoff return for a touchdown in franchise history, officially 108 yards. It was formerly held 106 by the great Roy Green back in 1979.
And you know the return was an increased emphasis for them in the offseason. Why? The last 2 seasons, kickoff return, 2013, 31st in the league. 2014, 32nd and dead last, 19 yards of return.
So in this day and age, a lot of teams, they win the toss, they defer to get the football in the second half. Bruce Arians says, give us the ball. 1 touch, 1 touchdown. Mariani brings it 5 yards out from his end zone. Across at 15 and loses his footing as he tries to cut it the other way, but a good return out to the 27-yard line. In his 10th year out of Vanderbilt, came over in the trade from 2009 from Denver. Jay Cutler, 7 touchdowns shy of tying Sid Luckman for the most in Bears franchise history. Cutler already the franchise leader in completions, attempts, passing yards, and completion percentage. Cutler is without one of his big weapons today, Alshon Jeffrey. A calf injury during training camp throughout the whole preseason, and then tweaked a hamstring during this week of practice. And they come out throwing the football. The backup tight end, Zach Miller. His first catch in over 3 years. Up front, Tony mentioned Kyle Long. last week, moves from right guard to right tackle. We'll be watching him all day. And what an opening week for Matt Forte. 141 yards on 24 attempts against Green Bay. Second down, and that'll be enough to pick up a first down on the carry by Forte. Arizona gave up over 400 yards last week, but very stingy in the red zone. Calais Campbell, a Pro Bowler a season ago. Linebacking core, they brought in veterans Woodley and Weatherspoon to go with Okafor and Mentor. And in the secondary, very, very talented group, led by the 4-time Pro Bowler Patrick Peterson. Forte on first down. And he is met at the line of scrimmage on the far side of the field. Maybe picks up a yard.
What'll be interesting to watch, Tom, as we go through is how they will get the ball to Matt Forte today. We know as a running back, yes, but he caught 102 passes last year. So you know he can swing out of the backfield and catch it. Where will he line up? And for the Arizona Cardinals defense, they will play all day. ID Matt Forte. Where is he, and how can he hurt us from that position?
Cutler, lots of time, and again dumps it off to the tight end Miller. He is wrapped up by Peterson. The penalty flag is down.
Pass interference, offense, number 86, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
That's Miller who caught the football. We mentioned that Miller, when he suited up last week, his first NFL game in over 1,400 days.
So this would be Miller here in the slot. And that's due to a lot of injuries is why he was gone for so long. You see that little bit of a push-off as he ran the route inside against Kevin Minter, the linebacker for Arizona.
That's Forte at the bottom of your screen, all the way out to the far right side. Tyler Matthew, the safety, showing blitz right there behind the line of scrimmage. Now he'll back up. Cutler out of the shotgun and fires. Back shoulder throw to Bennett, and Mentor will draw the flag in the secondary.
I think they victimized Kevin Minter, the linebacker.
Pass interference, defense, number 51, spot the foul, automatic first down.
That is a 22-yard penalty on Kevin Minter.
So Minter ends up with coverage on Martellus Bennett. And see the back of his head right there? When Jay Cutler saw Kevin Minter turn and not find the football and not see back into the backfield, that connotes that the receiver's open to him. The receiver will make the adjustment downfield because he sees the ball. Kevin Minter did not. He ran into Bennett for the penalty.
After the penalty on the Bears, that's a big penalty on Arizona to keep this drive alive. And off to the left side is Forte. Alshon Jeffrey missed the entire preseason with a calf injury. He caught 5 passes, 78 yards in the season opener, but then tweaked a hamstring during practice this week.
That's a huge loss, guys, for the Chicago Bears offense. That's a guy that stretches the fields for them.
And you wonder, fellas, Charles Antoni, get in your head for a minute if you're the Arizona defense, knowing there's no Jeffrey. Is it Forte that you're watching pretty much morning, noon, and night throughout this entire game? Tony, I'll start with you.
I think Matt Forte is really the Chicago Bears offense. He's so versatile, like Charles mentioned earlier, able to go and play receiver, can go out, stretch out. We saw him way out to the right. In the backfield, he's a definite threat. But also, I think they got to lean a little bit more on Bennett today, the tight end. We saw that earlier, and I'm sure they have a game plan to get him the ball.
Last week, the Bears were very good on third down, converting 11 of 17. This one a third down and 8. And read perfectly by the Cardinal defense. That's Dayon Buchanan, who blew that thing up before it ever got started.
And guys, last week, what victimized Arizona most on defense? Throws to the running backs. You'll see Forte try and get here on the screen, but watch what Arizona does. This time they read it. Last week against New Orleans, they gave up about 154 yards or more than that on screens or swings to the backs. There's Kyle Long, worked as Frosty Rucker. A good week of practice by Arizona, recognizing screens, paid off on that snap.
I'm impressed by their defense, the way they're running to the ball and they're tackling.
Here's a punt by Patrick O'Donnell. Patrick Peterson will let it bounce and batted back. Are they saying a touchback? Yes, a far side official said touchback. A kickoff return for a touchdown by Johnson has Arizona in front 7-0.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Cardinals get the football. Nearly 5 minutes have passed here in the opening quarter from Soldier Field in Chicago. Just a glorious weather Sunday afternoon in the Windy City. Carson Palmer in his 13th year out of USC on quite a roll since coming to the desert. Not only 17-6 in those 23, but has won 14 of his last 16. And this is Chris Johnson, who gets the start. His first is a Cardinal, replacing the injured Andre Ellington. Up front, Larson continues to replace Mike Iupati, the former 49er All-Pro guard, and Watford his second start over at right tackle. A very talented group, even without Ellington, as far as their skill position players.
Well, you see with Chris Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald's out wide. You're going to have, of course, Michael Floyd and some speed from John Brown, number 12.
A gain of 8 on Johnson's first carry. Why not give it to him again? Cuts it back up. It's enough for a first down to the 31. Back-to-back years, the Bears defense, the franchise built around defense, has been brutal. Ferguson is out, so Sutton starts. And Goldman, the starter at tackle. They've gone to a 3-4 under their new defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, and an entirely new secondary from the group which surrendered so many touchdowns and so many points a year ago.
Kyle Fuller was the hot rookie last year, a second-year guy. And Antrell Roll anchors the secondary from the safety position.
Palmer a strike up to the 45-yard line. And that will be another first down. That is Jerron Brown. They have a John Brown and a Jerron Brown.
And both of them are going to be effective in this offense because the ball distribution from Carson Palmer is excellent. If you're open, he will find you. How about that throw? Jerron Brown finds a dead spot in the defense, makes the catch, absorbs the blow, and the Cardinals move the ball downfield.
Palmer in winning 14 of his last 16 and 7 in a row. Last Cardinal quarterback to win 7 straight games. You've got to go all the way back to Jim Hart. Pernell McPhee, a newcomer to that defense, comes in to make the tackle. Came over from Baltimore. And even though he was not a starter for the Ravens, he was very active in rushing the passer.
And that's what Chicago's counting on today. They want to get the Cardinals in situations where they can unleash their pass rush. Last week they got pressure on Aaron Rodgers, but they never hit him. They never put him on the ground. No sacks. They want to change that today. Pernell McPhee, number 92. And, of course, Jared Allen, number 69, likely to supply most of the pressure.
Blitz coming. Jermaine Gresham, the longtime Cincinnati Bengal tight end, had back surgery during the offseason. Arizona brings him in. And when all is said and done, if this guy can stay healthy and hang on to the ball, the real weakness for Gresham has not been catching it. It's been fumbling it. That could be a very savvy pickup.
Oh, a big-time pickup for them. And, of course, remember who he caught passes from early in his career? Carson Palmer in Cincinnati. An easy reconnection for the two of them.
Even though it's early, it feels like an important third down for this Chicago defense. 3rd and 5. hand it off. Kerwin Williams active for the first time this season. And short of the first down by a yard, and the Cardinals sent out the punt team.
Kerwin Williams activated today due to the injury by Ellington. This is definitely a pass rushing formation, but the Bears did a nice job of not just blowing up field and creating creases. Stayed in their lanes and sniffed out the run.
Mariani calling for the fair catch and does so at the 11-yard line. Second series coming up for Cutler and the Bears. Of course, here in Chi-Town, they've got their legends, Ernie Banks, Michael Jordan, and Papa Bear Hallis.
This game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
7-0 Arizona. 6:22 to play in the opening quarter. And Tony Siragusa right behind Kyle Long. He talked about the former All-Pro guard turned tackle as of just 1 week ago. And injured that right hand during the game last week. They handed off to Forte, and he is slammed to the deck. Maybe a pickup of a yard. Tony?
Hey, guys, just linebacker Lamar Woodley went into the locker room with a right shoulder. They're saying that his return is questionable, so we'll keep an eye on that.
All right, Tony, thank you. Of course, Woodley came over during the offseason after really an outstanding 8 years as a Steeler. The 5th most sacks in Pittsburgh franchise history.
We'll probably see more of Marcus Golden, the rookie.
Swinging out to Miller. So as I asked Tony the question, I follow it up with you. If you're the Bears on offense, what do you do to find some offense without Alshon Jeffrey?
Well, we said that they have a thoroughbred Matt Forte, so you ride your thoroughbred. Okay, you take Secretariat, just put him to work. But you got to do it with different formations to help him out. So far today, the Bears have done most of their work out of tight formations. They don't have that receiver that really stretches the field, so they'll show tight formations often and still try and get the bigger plays downfield out of them to fool Arizona.
Cutler steps up and dumps it off beautifully to Forte. Across the 40 and up to the 43-yard line. Cutler took a big hit, was looking for a flag. What a savvy play that was by Jay Cutler.
And one of the most underrated aspects of his game, Tony Siragusa, is Jay Cutler's movement ability.
Absolutely.
And it's in evidence right here. See how he climbs the pocket first, keeps his eyes downfield, and finds Forte before he takes the shot in the backfield.
And they just left Forte out there all by himself. That's one guy you want to make sure you have a man on.
Rashad Johnson, the backup free safety, the one that delivered the hit on Cutler. Tony, being down there, were you surprised that wasn't an additional 15 yards?
I don't know. It was close. I mean, he stayed up. Only thing I would say, it could have been helmet to helmet. I mean, Jay was not happy at all getting in Jerome's face a little bit, but I'm sure he'll get the next one.
Well, there's no doubt that's helmet to helmet. That'll draw a fine, if not a penalty flag.
Yeah, he'll get an envelope coming from the league office after they review game film.
He'll be sending one back that'll be a lot heavier. Jaquiz Rogers able to slip through a couple of would-be tacklers. And he is inside Cardinal territory to the 47-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and a yard. Adam Gase, first-year offensive coordinator, grew up in Marshall, Michigan, but grew up a Chicago Bears fan.
And now he has one of his dream jobs, offensive coordinator for the Bears. He actually interviewed for the head coaching job, didn't get it, came with John Fox from Denver.
3rd and a yard, they're going to throw it. Wide open is Joshua Bellamy. Touchdown, Chicago.
They have that bunch formation on the left-hand side, but what a breakdown. Holy moly, was he wide open.
When someone's this open in the NFL, it signifies only one thing. Just what you said, Tony, a blown coverage in the secondary by Arizona. 3rd and short. Chicago trying to pick up the first down. They end up getting a chunk play and a touchdown to Bellamy.
Going after, coming up by Gold, and that is a game-tying extra point. Bellamy, the first reception of his NFL career, comes from Jay Cutler.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. And by DraftKings. Free one-week fantasy football at DraftKings.com.
Well, we talked about David Johnson a week ago. The first time he touches a ball as a pro, he scores a touchdown. Bellamy's been waiting a little longer. 4 years bouncing around Kansas City, Washington, practice squads, also with San Diego. Very short kick handled by Williams, and he'll slide down at the 34-yard line. Joshua Bellamy. Have the Cardinals ever heard of this guy? That's his first career catch, and he hits a lottery. 7-7 game, 3:16 to play in the opening quarter. Arizona football starting this possession from its own 35-yard line. Palmer to throw it on first down, chased by Jenkins, and just throws it away. 2nd and 10.
Let's go back to the touchdown and how it was scored. Look here, bunch formation by Chicago. Here are the defenders that are supposed to have it. It's 3-on-3 coverage, but it turns into 2-on-1 and 1 free. And when Joshua Bellamy goes downfield, Rashad Johnson looks like he's blown the coverage, but he was just the safety back deep. That wasn't his coverage. 2 Cardinals went to 1 Chicago Bear receiver, wide open for Bellamy.
2nd down, they hand it to Chris Johnson, and he picks up a yard. 3rd down and 9 coming up for the Cardinals. Of course, you know the story on Johnson, signed by Arizona late in the preseason. 3-time Pro Bowler during his run with Tennessee in 2009, the league's Offensive Player of the Year. One of 7 ever to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season. Spent last year with the New York Jets. And of course, during the offseason, he was shot in the shoulder in a drive-by shooting where another man was killed. 3rd and 9. Great protection. And Palmer delivers right on the money to John Brown. No, he's out of bounds. And the Cardinals will punt it away. Right now, a game break. Let's check in with Mike Hill in Los Angeles.
All right, guys, Niners impressive in their opener. Steelers not so much, for Pittsburgh looking good right now. Ben Roethlisberger to Heath Miller, 2-yard touchdown pass. Went for 2, got it. 8-0 Steelers in the first.
Interesting, Steelers and Mike Tomlin going for 2 right from the get-go.
How about them being aggressive after the loss to New England? Maybe Mike Tomlin said, hey, if we get a lead, let's continue to be aggressive and get after people and get our motors started.
We got a red flag from the Arizona bench, guys.
They want to take a look at that catch, I would presume,
Tony.
Tony.
Challenging the rule of the field of an incomplete catch.
I don't know, Charles, but it looks like a catch to me.
See John Brown laying out for it. See him catch. And right there, look. His body has it. The only issue I would have is he's in bounds because the catch occurs. The issue is going to be, did he complete the process of the catch without the ball bobbling and hitting the ground?
Cardinals challenging the call, which was a catch but out of bounds made by John Brown.
After reviewing the play, it is a completed catch. The receiver got one knee and the elbow down inbound at the 46.5-yard line. It'll be Arizona's ball, 1st and 10 at that spot.
Mike Pereira back in Los Angeles. Do you agree with that call?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you watch the official on the play, he's going to point actually that the catch was made out of bounds. He doesn't give a juggle signal, and clearly you can see that the elbow gets down before he hits the ground, and he does maintain control. So the 2 elements that they looked at met everything that was needed to make that a catch, and that's a good decision.
All right, so it's a pickup enough for a 1st down up to the 47-yard line. Carson Palmer and the Cardinals offense back on the field.
And remember, the Cardinals script the first 30 plays of the ball game, and within those 30 plays, they take 3 of them and turn them into what they call their shot plays, big plays that they want to get. They're in good field position to take one.
They throw it on first down. And Palmer lofting to Johnson and just slightly overthrows it. You know, the Cardinals on offense virtually had as close to a perfect game. There's no such thing, but they were about as close to it as you could have against New Orleans last week. Palmer threw for over 300 yards. They ran for over 120 yards. Palmer wasn't sacked. He didn't throw an interception. You add all of that up together, and that's only the fourth time in Cardinals franchise history they've ever done all those things in the same game.
And didn't get to use Andre Ellington throughout the entire game.
Ellington injuring his knee last week. Looking for the big ball. And a flag comes down. Fuller in coverage of Brown.
Look to the outside, to the top. John Brown running a go route against Kyle Fuller. And he has the step on him. It's a well-thrown ball, but watch Fuller.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. Foul the foul. Automatic.
Naturally, the crowded Soldier Field going, there is zero debate about that call.
No, Fuller was trying to get an arm in between the hands of John Brown, because that's what you do as a defensive back. Your last recourse, try and play through the arms and the hands of the receiver. But he got there too early and raked the arms of John Brown away. Excellent call by the officials. There's one of those big shots that Bruce Arians will take downfield.
I'm impressed by this offensive line and the time they're giving Carson Palmer to get the ball down the field that far.
And of course, they packed that group together a little bit. Johnson off the left side down to the 6-yard line. They brought in Mike Upati, the 3-time Pro Bowler, to be their left guard. He's out injured. Ted Larson was a starter a year ago. They put him in. He's done a solid job. And on the right side, Jonathan Cooper at guard, former #1 pick. And Earl Watford, the right tackle, his first ever start last week.
And he's normally a guard, and you saw the graphic there about how successful Arizona was last week in the red zone. 3 for 3 and touchdown scored.
Second down, Palmer. What a beautiful call, and that is a touchdown to Jerron Brown.
How about the setup here by Bruce Arians and his offensive staff? They spread things out, showed all the receivers everyone's aware of, Fitzgerald, Floyd, the whole crew. But watch to the left of your screen, 13 in white. Jerron Brown fakes a block, spins inside, and then he has Jared Veldier, the left tackle, number 68, showing some nice agility, coming out and getting enough of a block to create enough space for Jerron Brown to get into the end zone.
Great design of a play.
Oh, well conceived, well designed, well executed, Tony.
Brown caught 22 passes in 16 games a year ago. A couple of touchdowns. And a touchdown to put his team in front and waiting on the point after with a minute plus to go in this opening quarter. Zero, and it is just inside the right upright. There were 4 of those missed around the NFL in week 1. The touchdown to Jerron Brown, and Arizona back in front. The big penalty on Fuller, putting Arizona in the red zone, and the Cardinals, as they did last week against New Orleans, taking full advantage of that. Able to punch it in on the touchdown pass, 6 yards out to Jerron Brown. 14-7 game.
And Bruce Arians is going to take his shots. He's not going to be reckless about it. But he wants to push the ball downfield. And without his #1 tailback, Andre Ellington, he's going to want to create more space to help open up things for Chris Johnson and David Johnson in order to enable them to run the football. Good field position, always look for the big shot downfield from Arizona.
Mariani lets it pass through the back of the end zone.
They call me an instigator. What the? A troublemaker. A wild card and a rebel. So don't miss an all-new Ultimate Fire Wednesdays only on FS1.
Mr. Davis, I know you're looking forward to that.
He is everything that he said he was on there by a factor of 100.
He just sounds tough. He sounds tough. I love the accent.
And he goes to other guys' fights, Tony.
Right.
And he's at ringside telling them they don't want any of him.
You gotta love that. Love it.
Jeremy Langford, the rookie out of Michigan State, checks into the game for the first time, and they put it in his hands. Nope, Cutler's going to keep it. How about that little read option from Mr. Cutler? And you brought up earlier, this guy is a very nimble runner.
If you watched him in preseason, he scored on one of these where he actually ran over the defenders at the goal line. I believe it's against Cincinnati in preseason, where Jay Cutler dropped the shoulder and lowered the boom. Got a little niftiness to him, doesn't he? You don't expect that with Jay Cutler. All you hear about is the big right arm. But Adam Gase has added that to the playbook, and Jay Cutler's not shy about using it.
Cutler is off to a rock-solid start here today. 6 of 6, 90 yards, a touchdown pass to Bellamy. And now a good run to pick up a first down, and this is Langford. He only had one carry last week. Charles, you saw this young man play at Michigan State.
Got better and better throughout his career. He played cornerback while he was there. He played wide receiver, but finished his career with 16 straight 100-yard games against Big Ten opposition and 18 100-yard games overall. He's a good football player that they're trying to get touches for to get Matt Forte a little bit of rest in this game, so he's fresh in the second half.
Now, Forte played more offensive snaps as a running back last year than any other running back in the NFL, better than 90%. A penalty flag comes in. Boy, how about that for the Cardinals? It appeared as though the Bears were just going to let the clock run out in the opening quarter.
Infraction. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty resulted in a first down.
That's Josh Morrow's second-year lineman out of Stanford.
Remember, Arizona is what? A pressure team, right? They want to get upfield and wreak havoc. They are always going to be aggressive, and sometimes you can use the aggressiveness of those teams against them.
Very entertaining first quarter, 14-7. Arizona in front. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Fully aware that Forte, as we mentioned, played in 92% of the Bears' offensive snaps a season ago. Week one in there for 90. They'd like to lessen that as the year goes by. And look at Cutler again. Fakes a handoff and slides very close to a first down. It looked like he's about 2 yards short.
Who knew that Jay Cutler would become the #2 running back today for the Chicago Bears? You know, Tony, the Bears brought the T formation heavily into pro football, moving from the single wing. Today, Jay Cutler's taking it back to the single wing quarterback and getting the run game back.
This time he puts it in the hands of Langford. Needed to get to the 49, and he's very close to doing so on a second down run, wrapped up by Campbell. Of course, the Cardinals scored one of their touchdowns on the opening kickoff of the game, brought back a Cardinal franchise record 108 yards by David Johnson. Bears are moving the ball effectively, though.
And they've done a nice job sticking to that plan of getting Matt Forte a little bit of rest, and they were able to do it with Langford carrying the ball. And by the way, Jay Cutler carrying the ball. Didn't see that wrinkle coming in terms of him being that much of a ball carrier.
Well, they'll bring out the chains to take the measurement to see if Langford had enough on that carry for a first down. And yes, sirree.
Tom, they got the first down. As you noted, they're moving the ball successfully. Tony, what about Kyle Long with that big wrap on his right hand?
You know what?
Is that affecting him?
I'll tell you what, it's not affecting him at all in the run game. He's doing a great job. The team was behind him. We saw Cutler, run for a nice chunk before, and he went right behind Kyle. But on the pass, it's a problem. You can't grab. When you're an offensive lineman, you need to use that outside hand for the speed rush. And right now, he just has, a big pad there. It almost looks like a big flipper. So it's definitely it's making it harder for Kyle to go, defend the pass. But he's fighting out there. We expected that, right, Charles?
No doubt with that guy.
He's a fighter.
And the carry once more by the rookie Langford. A good chunk on first down. We'll call it a gain of 6.
And here we get a look at Kyle Long, number 75, the right tackle, working against Alex Okafor, number 57. And that's where we saw, Tony just talked about it, being able to punch with the hands inside, but you saw how the right hand just immediately slipped off and Okafor was able to get past him. That's where he has the trouble that Tony described, unable to sort of grab and hold on when he's punching with his hands inside.
20.
Cutler slips a tackle, gets lost behind the big fella Bushrod, and he fumbles the football. Ooh. Is it recovered by Arizona?
Looked like it went out of bounds.
Well, we're still waiting on the official word. They backed it up.
I think he was saying he was out there, and that's where he called it dead.
He got the runner fumbled the ball forward and was touched by out of bounds by an Arizona player. Therefore, we bring the ball back to the spot of the fumble. Third down.
A nice explanation there by Drum Golden.
Got away with the face mask there, too.
Sure did.
Yes. Well, you see the ball popping free. There's a face mask that was missed. Ball popped free. But as they described, see his feet are out of bounds, and he doesn't have control. Okafor doesn't as he tries to recover the football. So they brought it back to the spot of the fumble.
Yeah, the Bears very effective so far offensively. Now, granted, we're only a couple of minutes into this second quarter. Cutler has carried 3 times for 24 yards. Penalty flag comes in from the far side of the field.
There is no foul on the play. The play clock never reset to 25 seconds. 25 seconds on the play clock. Thank you.
So they just killed the play dead before it could take place because the clock hadn't reset. But look at Jay Cutler trying to straight arm. There's Deion Buchanan up there. Not sure he actually really got the match. Kind of went by it there. Popped the ball free, but Okafor unable to recover. See him slipping out of bounds with no control of the football. Chicago keeps it.
This time, Cutler hangs onto it and throws. And the pass is caught by Eddie Royal. Royal coming over from San Diego. Broke in as a rookie and had a big season when Cutler was still in Denver.
And here's Jay Cutler moving. And that big season you're talking about, Eddie Royal caught 91 passes that year from Jay Cutler. So they were able to reestablish their connection in Chicago.
Langford trying to pick up the first down. Very close. Tripped up by Buchanan. We check in back in Los Angeles game break time.
Vikings looking much better than they did a week ago, taking on the Lions. Adrian Peterson got him down there. Teddy Bridgewater takes it in for the bootleg 1-yard score. 14-0 Minnesota in the second.
Oh, Minnesota was fired up for this one, though, after really being embarrassed by San Francisco. And Carlos Hyde and crew just ran over the top of them. 230 yards on the ground. That takes your pride. That hurts your pride as a defense when you get run over like that. Minnesota ready to go today.
And once more, it's a rookie Langford. He's getting a lot of playing time here in the opening half today. And that'll be a gain of 3 on first down for Jeremy Langford.
How about the formations we're seeing, Tony? Everything's pretty tight. They don't have that stretcher, as you talked about with Alshon Jeffrey. So everything they're doing is really keeping it tight, bunched in, and allowing that offensive line to kind of mass together, it appears to me.
Yeah, you know, and using Cutler, running the ball, and him on that naked, I'll tell you what, they're changing it up, frustrating the defense a little bit. You know, they got to go and keep it together.
4-man rush. Cutler, great protection, finds Bennett. Trying to muscle his way into the end zone and denied by about a foot by Jefferson.
And when you've got Martellus Bennett and no one can stop him at the line of scrimmage, meaning free release into the secondary, and what a delivery by Jay Cutler. And here's Kyle Long on the pass protection. Did a nice job as we see Lamar Woodley back in the game after injuring a shoulder earlier today. Excellent job by Kyle Long with the clubbed hand, keeping Woodley away from his quarterback.
They bring in an extra tight end, an additional offensive lineman, and they give it to Langford, his first career touchdown. How about that? drive, almost the entire drive, with Langford in the backfield rather than Matt Forte.
They had a plan coming into today. Get Forte some rest. It's hard to do when you've got him standing on the sidelines. You want him in the game. But Adam Gase and his staff have stuck with it. And they've done an excellent job of game planning today. No big stretch guy downfield in Alshon Jeffrey. So we'll use tight bunch formations and find ways to get Martellus Bennett one-on-one, which they did for a big shot downfield. And guess what? They found the end zone. Well executed drive by Chicago.
10 minutes still to play in the opening half. And a good one at Soldier Field. Langford celebrates his first career touchdown to tie it at 14.
This game is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company and the entirely new Lincoln MKX. And by Samsung, introducing the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus and the new Galaxy Note 5.
14-14 affair. 10 minutes and 2 seconds on this beautiful Sunday. First time it's really felt like an early autumn Sunday in the heartland of America. And Johnson will catch this one out through the back of the end zone. Carson Palmer and the Cardinals get it on offense when we return. Well, I'm not so sure we would have chosen these names to talk about coming into this one. In fact, we didn't. David Johnson, the opening kickoff, returns it for a touchdown. Bellamy, his first career catch, touchdown. Langford, first career touchdown.
It's something, isn't it? And you're talking about David Johnson's a third-round pick, right? Jeremy Langford, a fourth-round pick. We have stars in this game. Those are the guys we would have thought would have that type of impact early. And where's Larry Fitzgerald? Hadn't caught a ball yet.
First down good is to David Johnson. He's stuck at the line of scrimmage. Well, you know, the Cardinals were so impressive last week, but many wonder, Charles, is this a big hit not having Andre Ellington? When they have him in the lineup, it is a good-looking, well-rounded team.
You know, people play at different tempos depending on who's in the ball game. Andre Ellington allows them to go at a faster tempo. You notice how things pick up when he's in the game, and he can do many of the things we talk about Matt Forte can do. Run the ball, catch it out of the backfield. He's got great quicks and jets, and the team seems to respond when he's in the lineup.
Blitz coming. Palmer gets it away, and that is a first down catch up to the 34-yard line by the second-year explosive receiver out of Pittsburgh State, John Brown.
Wow, after he called that ball, I'll tell you what, he exploded upfield. Carson Palmer did take a big hit on that one, guys.
And you see now they're trying to bring that pressure. Vic Fangio, there's Acho 49 in there. Getting some assistance, going up the middle. There's 59 Christian Jones, but he hung in there and delivered a strike to John Brown.
There's Palmer coming all the way back from a pair of injuries. It shortened his season last year. Nobody debates that throwing arm, however. That is a missile into the hands of Michael Floyd. There are penalty flags all over the field. And this one may be on Floyd. He may have pushed off to get open.
Offense, number 15.
Yep.
10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Remember, Michael Floyd missed the preseason with 3 dislocated fingers. Came back and played in the opener. See him using his size, that inside arm pushing off against Kyle Fuller. And the reason they caught him on that is when he pushed off, he got it extended. And when it's extended out, you can see it. And there's Larry Fitzgerald. Last week, 6 catches for 87 yards, average almost 15 yards a catch. Today, zeros across the board. But I don't expect that to continue throughout the afternoon.
Well, especially considering he's only caught a pass in 164 consecutive games. You've got to go all the way back to 2004 in a game against Buffalo where he did not have a reception.
And I have a question about why wouldn't you throw it to Larry Fitzgerald then?
You're exactly right. Screen to Johnson out of the backfield. David Johnson. They have a pair of Johnsons. No relation in that Arizona backfield.
And the way they'll mix and match the running backs, Tony, is David Johnson. He can carry the ball, but they'll want to throw it to him more. He was a wide receiver early at college at Northern Iowa. Chris Johnson, for all of his quicks and speed, is a lesser receiver. They'll want to hand him the football.
2nd down and 17. They have David Johnson split to the far left of the formation. Shotgun empty backfield. Palmer looking for Fitzgerald and finds him. So that's 165 consecutive games with a reception. By the way, that game when it was Halloween in 2004 in Buffalo, they targeted Fitzgerald, did Josh McCown, then the quarterback 5 times without a catch.
Well, it makes sense it was Halloween. There had to be something crazy going on for him not to get a catch.
Yeah, he was dressed up as somebody else, and McCown didn't know it apparently. 3rd down and 10. Palmer able to escape trouble and delivers a strike to Brown, and that's a 1st down close to midfield. McPhee whipped, trying to get Palmer.
And Jared Allen has had to convert to being an outside linebacker, but they've told him he has a little more free reign this week to go back to being the defensive end he was before. And he put pressure on Carson Palmer. But Palmer, big, strong, thick guy back there, able to deliver that strike without getting his legs into the throw. Frustrating for Jared Allen. He put the pressure on, and Carson Palmer still defeated it.
1st down from the 45. Chris Johnson back in there and met head on back the line of scrimmage. First man there is McPhee.
And Tony, Jared Allen's trying to get comfortable out there. 2-point stance, 3-point stance. What do I do? Because he's only done 3-point stance his whole career, and the 2-point stance, I think, is still affecting him.
Yeah, you know, when you're a pass rusher, the most important thing is getting off the ball. Almost like a guy running track. You know, you want that speed, that burst. You want to stay low. And when he's in a 2-point stance, he's too high. He can't move as well. So he's a much better pass rusher when he's down in that 3-point stance.
You know, Tony, I want to get back to that for a minute, because I think for most fans out there, is Palmer on 2nd down, and we'll call it 9.
Go for the
looking down to Brown, and it's in and out of the hands, and another flag comes in, and Alan Ball cannot believe it.
Well, that's the way they're calling this game, tight. We saw the coverage on both sides, pushing off, pass interference. Flags are flying today, guys.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. Spot on the foul. Automatic. 1st down.
When you watch the Cardinals play, you can see Bruce Arians' fingerprints all over this, because what he tells his quarterbacks is make the throw and let the receiver make the big play downfield. Now watch the pass protection. Right there, number 23 getting run over was Chris Johnson, but he did a nice enough job to allow Palmer to launch it downfield and give John Brown a chance to make a play on the football.
So there's been a 42-yard pass interference penalty on Fuller, a 38-yard penalty now on the other side against Ball. Chris Johnson cuts it back to the inside, and not much running room. Picks up, we'll call it 4, close to 5. Better run than it looked like initially.
See the offensive leader say Carson Palmer throwing the ball downfield as we would expect. Chris Johnson getting the starting tailback today, and John Brown making plays downfield. But as you notice with us 3 up here, when dinosaurs ruled the earth, we didn't tell quarterbacks to throw those types of passes. No. They had to be open, right?
Absolutely.
Now we tell them to put it up there and let the receiver make the play on the ball, because he's in a better position to find it before the defensive back.
Johnson once more. And stood up by McClellan right at the 10-yard line. Shea McClellan, the number 1 pick 3 years ago out of Boise State, moves from the outside to the inside this year.
Trying to find a home, isn't he, Tony?
Yeah, McClellan got shook up on that one. They better keep an eye on him.
We asked Vic Fangio about him, like, he's an outside linebacker defensive end. Why is he playing inside linebacker now? Fangio said, I watched him on tape. There wasn't any big checklist about why he should move, but I thought he could make the transition inside. And so far, he's done that, and he's their defensive signal caller as well.
3rd down and 2, 9th play of this Arizona drive. Fake it to Johnson. Fitzgerald, a touchdown! Larry Fitzgerald, his first touchdown of this 2015 campaign.
This is ordinarily a tight end route, but Larry Fitzgerald with his size comes back into the tight end position, really. tight formation, runs what we call a stick nod, a little out and up, and gets inside. And how about the throw by Carson Palmer, taking him to the ground, letting him use his body to shield off the defensive back, and allows for the touchdown.
It's got to be happy if you're a quarterback. Even throw it around Larry Fitzgerald, you know he's going to catch that.
Well, you're not lying. Over 900 receptions for over 12,000 yards. That's his 90th touchdown catch. And before his career is over, he will truly go down statistically as one of the all-time great receivers in the NFL. And the point after is good, although a flag is down across the field at the 15-yard line.
The size of Larry Fitzgerald, the catch radius, and it's allowed him to remake himself as a receiver as he's gotten older in this league. Not just a guy out wide running speed routes, but coming inside making the tough catches now as well.
And he's a University of Pittsburgh graduate, too.
Offside on the defense. The 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The points were good.
Did you just say a pit grad, Tony Syracuse? All right. Celebrate if you're a Panther.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
Well, the most unique voice in sports back on the air, the one and only Colin Cowherd, now on FS1. Smart Sports Talk is back. The Herd with Colin. Weekdays at noon Eastern only on FS1.
When you making your appearance there?
I don't know. We're hanging out at the Fox
you gotta let me know
for a little while. You know, I got to move up the totem pole a little bit before I can make an appearance on that show. They hold that for guys like you and Tony Syracuse.
No, I haven't made an appearance yet. I bet Goose has been on.
No.
That's through the back of the end zone. The Bears have moved the ball very well today. Second big penalty against the secondary of Chicago leads to the touchdown pass and a 7-point Cardinal lead. The Bears on offense starting from their own 20, trailing by 7. 3:51 to play until halftime, and the Bears have all 3 timeouts remaining. Forte back in the game, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
You know, the Cardinals are known as a pressure package defense. They want to get out. He blitzed 21 times against New Orleans last week. But Chicago's tamped that down today. It hasn't just been Kyle Long on the offensive line. It's been the entire offensive line, as well as the play calling by Adam Gase. Because of their ability to run the ball, change things up with formations, Jay Cutler's ability to run the ball himself, the pressure's really been knocked back. Cutler throwing the ball with some ease. What's he, 8 of 8 throwing it?
8 of 8, 120 yards and a touchdown. Cutler throws the interception. And that is Tony Jefferson sniffing the end zone. A touchdown. The most inopportune time, it seems, frequently, for this Chicago Bears quarterback, Jay Cutler. And that is a big one right there.
And really, I don't know how much of this was Arizona or how much of this is Jay Cutler with just a bad pass. See, it's behind Martellus Bennett. Jefferson's where he's supposed to be, but essentially gets a gift. Because if he puts it right where he's supposed to with Bennett, and that ball didn't come off his hand very well. You see that? See how it's twisting downward, Tony?
Yes, I do. I mean, Martellus Bennett was wide open. If he leads him a little bit, he could still be running. If you throw it behind him, Jefferson was right there.
But good defenses take advantage when you give them an opportunity. They take it and go in the other direction, as Tony Jefferson did. I don't know if Cutler's hurt because the way the ball came off of his hand.
Yeah, in fact, they're getting the backup quarterback, Jimmy Clausen, up and loose right now, and Cutler is going directly to the Chicago locker room. That is a 26-yard interception return for a touchdown by Jefferson. And now the point after is right down the middle.
These Chicago Bear fans with Jay Cutler going into the locker room are not very friendly right now towards him.
And let's see what happens at the end, because Jay's a competitor and he's trying to make the tackle on Jefferson.
Oh boy.
And he gave him an excellent straight arm and he went down. It looked like he went down on the right side. which is his throwing shoulder, and that could be the issue.
That is a play you frequently see in baseball on outfielders when they're diving to make a catch, and that shoulder rolls up underneath, and that does not look good. We'll hope for good news on Cutler.
The first thing that hit was the force of his body on his right shoulder when he went down.
Man, it looked like his head hit also, you know. I'm going to go in, guys, see if I can get something from the Chicago Bears.
All right, Tony, thank you. Jimmy Clausen, 6 seasons in the NFL, his first 4 in Carolina. Joined Chicago a season ago. He's played in 17 games in his career, 11 as a starter, only 1 game as a Bear. It's when Cutler was benched, you may remember, the second to last weekend of last season.
He was supposed to carry the rest of the season as the starter, but he got a concussion in that game. And Jay Cutler had to come back and become the starter again for the final game before Mark Trestman and staff were fired and we started over with John Fox.
Ariana's going to bring it out of the end zone. And he's out to the 20. Spins out of the tackle and brings it out to the 28-yard line. And a penalty flag is down right at the 21.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 49. 10-yard penalty. Chicago keeps the ball. First down.
Let's check in back in Los Angeles with Mike Hill for a game break. Hi, Mike.
Fellas, guess who's in the end zone for the G-men? Odell Beckham Jr. had a great rookie season, 12 touchdown receptions last year, his first this year, 67 yards from Eli Manning. We're tied at 10 in the second. Back to you, Tom and Charles.
And Mike, it's nice to see him not short arm that one as we saw him do a few times in preseason. That looked like the Odell Beckham we saw last season. Preseason, I'm not sure we were watching ODB. It's like he's protecting himself to get to the regular season.
Well, the Giants have just been ravaged with injuries during the preseason. You may remember they came to Cincinnati to practice for an entire week leading up to a game there against a very physical Bengal team. And that was an ugly week for the Giants.
I saw 2 of the practices there, and it was physical. All right, you're talking about 2 teams that pride themselves on being that. So by the time they got to game day, they had left it all out on the practice field. So this will be interesting to see what Adam Gase wants to do with Jimmy Clausen running the team now, backed up and they're deep in their own territory and down 2 touchdowns, headed towards the half.
A 2:15 and counting, and they pitch it to Forte, cuts it back to the inside and up to the 20. It'll bring up 3rd down and a yard. This will take us, or will it?
No, I think Arizona wants a timeout here because they're going to want to try and get the ball back and get great field position and try and get 1 more before the half.
Well, half of the Arizona points in this game, 1 on a kickoff return, the opening kickoff of the game, 108 yards, the Cardinal franchise record by David Johnson, and then that interception return for a touchdown a moment ago by Jefferson. You look at this Cardinal team, and obviously we have a long way to go in this game, Charles. Much has been made of all the success. Seattle we know about. San Francisco, a lot of turnover there. Rams, a huge win in week 1 last week against the Seahawks. Are the Cardinals as good as anybody in the West?
I believe that they are, and even more important, they believe that they are. 9-1 last year when Carson Palmer went down with the knee injury. Remember, they got through the first time when he had the shoulder injury. They got through that fine with Drew Stanton. But went 9-1, couldn't take it any farther than that. They believe with Carson Palmer, they're as good as anyone.
That's Corey Redding, 13-year veteran who jumped across the line of scrimmage.
And that drives coaches crazy, doesn't it? They call the timeout to set things up.
Encroachment. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Take the timeout to try and save clock. Try and play defense there. Then you get the 2-minute warning for an extra timeout if you're able to stop them. Instead, you give them the easy one. What do they say about the best laid plans?
Well, let's see if they're going to let Clausen move into this 2-minute offense here. They're at the 24-yard line. It's an automatic first down after the penalty. 3 receivers to the right, Forte in the backfield, and they're just going to hand it off. Forte, a good run. And slams his way up to the 39-yard line. Another Chicago first down. So Jay Cutler trying to make a tackle after the interception back in the Chicago locker room. Get apps, videos, and so much more at iTunes.com/NFL. All right, 2 minutes to go.
With this field position, if they don't throw it here in 2-minute offense, I think Adam Gase is telling us he doesn't want to throw it here with Jimmy Clausen coming into the game cold.
Well, if you're just joining us, Jay Cutler just left after throwing an interception, which was returned for a touchdown by Tony Jefferson. Cutler appeared to get injured trying to make the tackle, and they're not going to throw it. Wow. Well, we mentioned a touchdown on a kickoff return, an interception return in the same game. You've got to go back a long time. So back when the Cardinals were playing in the city of St. Louis. They're going to throw it here. Martellus Bennett, a nice open field tackle made by Jefferson. Third down. And the clock is stopped. Is that a Cardinal timeout? It is.
I believe it is.
Bears were moving the ball very well up and down the field today.
And Jay Cutler has been in the middle of moving the ball up and down the field. He's also been on the receiving end of some big hits. That one from Rashad Johnson appeared to be helmet-to-helmet contact. And then after the interception he threw to Tony Jefferson, trying to make the tackle on Jefferson, Jay Cutler was injured on the play and went to the locker room. And since that time, Jimmy Clausen has taken over as the quarterback of the Chicago Bears.
You know, the early returns on Cutler when he first came over were very, very good. You know, he's been extremely inconsistent, up and down. At times over the last 6 years, he's working on his 5th offensive coordinator in 7 seasons as a Bear.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's Bushrod, the 2-time Pro Bowl left tackle. He was a Pro Bowler with the Saints.
Well, they did throw it on the last one, 3rd and 13 after the penalty. Do you think draw screen here because they haven't really shown that they want to throw it downfield with Clausen? Let's see if they try and get something to Forte on this play.
Yep, you call it. And they set up the screen, and Calais Campbell was not to be fooled.
Last week, New Orleans really got to Arizona with screens and swings to the backs. James Betcher, the defensive coordinator, and his staff worked hard this week. What a great play, as you noted, Tom, by Calais Campbell, the all-pro defensive end. He read it early, attached himself to the hip of Matt Forte, and Clausen wisely threw the ball into the ground to avoid an interception.
Second punt of the game for Patrick O'Donnell. Puts her right foot on it. J.J. Nelson fumbles the football. And the Chicago Bears have recovered. The rookie out of UAB coughs it up. He was thinking about running the football because there was plenty of green in front of him.
J.J. Nelson's a 4.28 40-yard dash guy, but that does you no good if you don't secure the football. And I think, as you pointed out, he was thinking about using the 4.28 speed before the ball was secure in his mitts. And what great hustle by the Bears downfield. Here's Jaquiz Rogers, 35, who beats him to the football and sets the Bears up with a great opportunity.
Well, that gives Chicago some life, because his team did not have much of it after the injury to Cutler. Following the interception returned for a touchdown, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Josh Morrow played in 5 games as a rookie after being signed off the Steelers practice squad.
To the right, 97, all the way on the end. Chips off on Bennett, sees the ball, gets the mitts in the air, and does his J.J. Watt imitation, or Calais Campbell, and knocks it away.
His alma mater, the Cardinal, had a big win last night.
Huge win for Stanford on the road after being upset week 1 by Northwestern.
And this time it's the other side. It's like a pair of power forwards. Morrow on one side, close to 6'7". And you mentioned Campbell on the other side at 6'8".
In recent years, Campbell second only to J.J. Watt in batted passes at the line of scrimmage. Watch him to the right side, number 93 in white. And this is just excellent fundamental football by the defensive line. When the pass rush is over and you can't get to the quarterback, what are you taught to do? Get your hands in the passing lane.
Absolutely.
Right? Tony, you did that enough along the way, right?
Get him up. And you know what? Jimmy Clausen, his windup is so long that you can see when the ball's coming out. Makes it easier for the defensive lineman to know when to jump.
Third down, blitz coming. Clausen turns it loose and nowhere near the intended target of Wilson. Boy, that's ugly, uglier, and ugliest. And now the field goal unit comes out. Tony, Charles, how much work does a backup quarterback get during the week to prepare for a game?
Not nearly as much as people at home would think. Tony, you did it with Baltimore and Indianapolis. They don't get many snaps. And if you have a quarterback with a big personality, a Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, they get even less snaps.
Yeah, they get the choice. If they want to take all the snaps, they take them all. The thing is, the backup quarterback usually gets to go and run the opposing team's plays and scout team. That's where he gets most of his work. Toughest job in the NFL.
With 40 yards out, money in the bank, Robbie Gould. And a penalty flag is down. Hold on a minute now. A flag.
Offside. Defense. The 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Okay.
The field goal is good.
That makes it 28-17. 59 seconds remain. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. How about it, Kurt Menefee?
I'm Kurt Menefee here on the red carpet where we're getting ready for the 67th Primetime Emmys later on tonight on Fox. All the stars will be out here in just a bit, including our guys, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. We will get you all caught up on all 10 games going on in the early window here in the NFL. That's on the Visa Halftime.
I'm surprised that they didn't send Charles Davis and Tony Siragusa to be on that red carpet. Of course, you guys might be flying there today, right? Tony, you on your way there?
I don't know about that.
I'm on my way to my couch to watch the guys work. Hey, how about this though, Tony? 28-17. We just talked about Chicago getting a little bit of a gift and getting the 3 points, right?
Yes.
This is normally a situation a team take the kick. You're ahead. Let's get to the half. But this is Bruce Arians. I'm not sure that they go in that direction because he trusts his quarterback Carson Palmer. He may attack.
Yeah, with all the time, you have one timeout, right? Depending on where the field position is. I mean, you know, at least try to get in the field goal range, get something out of it. I don't think they want to go into halftime right here at this. I mean, if your offense is rolling a little bit, if your quarterback has all the time in the world like they've had, I mean, you know, move the ball downfield. Also, I've been trying to get in touch with the PR department, went inside. A couple of the PR guys didn't even know that, you know, that there was any kind of injury. So we'll see if we can get something at halftime. I'm going to talk to John Fox a little bit, but we'll keep you up to date on what's going on.
All right, Tony, thank you.
You remember last week as Arizona tried to ice the game with New Orleans, they could have tried to run it 3rd and short. What did VA do? Misdirection, screen to David Johnson, 55-yard touchdown pass. So let's see where the field position ends up.
Well, when Lasser through the back of the end zone, they'll get it at the 20.
Well, we talked about the aggressiveness of Bruce Arians and what he wants to do as a head coach. He wants to take shots all day long. Every 30 plays, he has 3 scripted that are downfield throws. There's one to John Brown, interference on Kyle Fuller. Here's another one to John Brown. Now it's Alan Ball getting the interference. So they've taken the shots downfield. Plus they had a wheel route designed for David Johnson for another one that fell incomplete. He told us, Bruce Arians, I don't like to leave those in my holster, guys. If I got them, I want to use them.
Well, it's an empty backfield. 5 receivers. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. And batted into the air. And it's intercepted by Jared Allen. Oh, my goodness. It's one thing for the rookie to fumble a punt return, but the veteran Carson Palmer on 1st down.
And Jared Allen's been looking for something to get himself going. He comes from the 3-point stance like the defensive end he always has been. And he gets his hands in the passing lane fundamentally. Look how he stays with it, tracks it, gets it out of the air. And Chicago back in business with another shot before the half.
That is Jared Allen's 6th career interception, and virtually every one of them in exactly that fashion.
That's a veteran move, Charles, exactly what you pointed out. Not only did he tip the ball, but kept his eyes on it, saw it coming down, and made the interception.
And you know, with Bruce Arians, people will want to second guess it, right? Oh boy, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? That's how he rolls. He's not going to second guess it at all. He's counting on his defense to hold him to at least a field goal. Let's see if Chicago can find a way to cash in, with Forte probably being the featured guy.
Forte in the backfield. Royal in motion on first down. And they put it in the hands of Royal. And he didn't get a block from Wilson. He bounces off a couple of tackles and is able to step out of bounds, stopping the clock with 48 seconds left in the half.
That wasn't in sync at all, because there was no space between Royal and Marquise Wilson, number 10. Watch them. They've got to have a little bit of space. And see, he's right up on top of him when he catches the football. Plus, Tyrann Mathieu, number 32, he had rocked Marquise Wilson back towards the line of scrimmage. He really blew up the play right there.
Well, this is where the Bears have to get a touchdown. I mean, are they through if they kick a field goal? They're not. But you have been handed 2 gifts. Clausen gets it away. Forte shakes a tackler. He's inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Timeout called as Forte did not get out of bounds, was tackled at the 5.
There's no question where Jimmy Clausen wanted to go with the ball. What an excellent move by Forte, staying in bounds, making Josh Morrow miss before Tony Jefferson came from inside out to finish it off before Forte could get to the end zone. All he got was the towel. And if we're playing flag football, then Josh Morrow's got a nice play. But this is
not playing flag in Chicago.
This is full contact in Chicago.
It is.
I don't think they allow flag football in the Chicago city limits.
I think you're right. All right. They can pick up a first down. It is 3rd down and 3, and now the Cardinals on defense.
Arizona, their 3rd and final. This is a 30-second timeout.
You know, this guy Forte he's had just such an outstanding career. He's one of only 20 players in the history of the game with over 7,000 rushing yards. All the receptions, an NFL record 102. Most yards from scrimmage among all players in the NFL, second only to the late great Walter Payton in career rushing yards. But you know, 7,000 plus rushing, 3,000 plus receiving yards, and only Marshall Faulk did it quicker to reach those numbers than Matt Forte.
And that's a Hall of Famer who did it quicker, Matt Forte. And boy, he looks to me to be in the best shape he's been in his life. He even looks a little leaner and stronger than he's been in past seasons.
And he's out, split to the left, now coming in motion alongside Clausen. Early movement somewhere along that defensive front. Yep. I mean, the Cardinals are just completely blasting themselves right in the foot here in the last 2 minutes of this first half.
Les Campbell's arguing that he was drawn offsides by the movement of Chicago.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 32. Moved into the neutral zone, caused a reaction by the wide receiver who is also protected. Half the distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
You saw at the top of your screen there, the jumping looked like Witherspoon 55, I believe, was one of the first guys across.
Well, there were a couple of them moving. Tony Jefferson was up on the line of scrimmage as well, and well, it all adds up to a first down and goal after the penalty.
Yeah, measuring now for the first down that you talked about, Tom, that they could achieve after the penalty.
Because it only goes half the distance to the goal. And I beg your pardon, just that much short. All right, the Bears have 2 timeouts left. We're down to the final 39 seconds. It's 3rd down and a yard. Are you in 4-down territory right here and right now with the Bears with a backup quarterback in the game?
I don't think there's any question that you are. And Tony, last week, remember, they threw it 3 straight times with a chance to run the ball and didn't, actually 4 straight times and didn't get anything out of it. I wonder if you come back now, go tight formation, big on big, and let Matt Forte try and work his way through.
We're about to find out. They bring in an extra tight end in Miller. An extra offensive lineman in Charles Leno. And the I formation. And that is blown up right from the start by Tony Jefferson. So now 4th down. If you're John Fox, what is your decision? This is a 4th down after that loss.
And I think with that loss, you got to think about getting some points here.
Yeah, you got to go for a
5-yard line. And this is blowing up. Tony, when you're trying to run against Arizona laterally, with those defensive back linebacker combos, I think that's a tough task.
All right, they let the clock run all the way down to 5, 4, 3, 2, timeout. 1 second left.
If they're at the 5-yard line, I'd be very surprised if they don't run out there and try and get some points as opposed to going for it with their offense.
Forte is just disgusting. They have a tipped pass, tipped by Allen, intercepted by Allen, to put themselves in business for the 2nd time in the final 2 minutes of this half. It was a field goal the first time, and here comes Robbie Gould for a field goal try again. And when all is said and done, this Arizona Cardinal defense, as it did last week, as it did all year long last year, they were the 3rd best defensive team inside the red zone. They shut down the Saints last week, and now 2 tries here in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Even with their own self-inflicted wounds, they're likely to only give up 2 field goals in 2 touchdown opportunity situations.
23 yards officially for Gould, and it is good. A couple of turnovers, but only 6 points for Chicago, but very much in the game. 28-20 Arizona at halftime. We now go to Kurt Menefee and the gang in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime, which starts now. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Excitement right from the opening kickoff. David Johnson sets a Cardinals franchise record, a 108-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and that was today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. All right, Bears going to get the football. And still no sign of Jay Cutler coming out of that Bears locker room. We'll check in with Tony here in a second. From what you saw from Clausen, he's only played in 17 games in his career, 1 as a Bear in 2 years. Can he get it done?
They're going to have to give him the chance to give it done. And what I mean by that is they can't be as conservative as they were at the end of the first half. They got opportunities because of Cardinal mistakes at the end of the first half. Drop punt by J.J. Nelson. Interception by Carson Palmer. They still only cashed in on 2 field goals due to excellent defense by the Cardinals. But they're going to have to go out and play this half as if Jay Cutler were in the game. Maybe not all the same design plays because Cutler has the big arm. But at the same time, they've got to play it to open things up and give themselves a chance. They won't win it by handing to Matt Forte 20 times in the second half.
We're going to check in with Tony Siragusa after this kick, which will be handled by Mariani. 8 yards into his own end zone. Big collision there on the kickoff, as there frequently is. Brought up to the 22. Players are injured, and we have a flag down. That was a collision right around the 10-yard line. You could hear it, you can see it from all the way up here.
I felt it, and that was about 15 yards away from it, Tom. Huge collision.
And I believe one of the players is Justin Bethel, who's gone to back-to-back Pro Bowls as a special team
There is no foul on the play for a block in the
player.
back. The contact is ruled to have been from the side.
And they're continuing to take a look at Bellamy. You may remember he had his first career catch, and it went for a touchdown in the opening quarter of this game, and is able somehow, some way to get up and and make his way to the sideline. Likewise for Bethel. Tony, how about it at halftime?
So I got a chance to talk to John Fox on the way out of the tunnel before he talked to me. He was complaining to the officials about helmet-to-helmet contact, about protecting his quarterback, something that he hasn't got. You guys are blowing these calls. And then I asked him, I said, well, John, Jay Cutler goes in, what's the injury? And he sort of, said, well, it's going to be a hamstring. When he was chasing, it was a hamstring. But so that's the official report that they're going with, and that's all I could say.
All right.
Not too convincing, but it's a hamstring.
In any event, now it's Jimmy Clausen's ball.
Clausen got the start, you may recall, in week 15 of last year. That's when then head coach Mark Trestman benched Jay Cutler. And they're going to turn around and hand it off to Forte. And if you're the Arizona defense at this point, I mean, what else are you going to expect? If you weren't with us, Cutler threw the interception, chasing Jefferson, made a diving attempt to try and tackle him. Now, he's not favoring that right arm or right shoulder in any way as he goes walking off the field.
That's why I'm speculating a little, Tom. He almost fast walk right up the tunnel. Didn't see anything grabbing his hamstring, any kind of problem walking. So
sacked back at the 15 is Clausen. The Bears moved the ball extremely well. They had a pair of scoring drives, 6 plays on one, 11 plays on another. And you see 210 total yards. They got the 2 takeaways, Charles, but could only turn it into a pair of field goals late in the half.
And when Arizona got a takeaway, it turned into a touchdown on the interception by Tony Jefferson. And remember the pressure that Arizona really wasn't able to get on Cutler in the first half because of the Bears' offense? We just saw the pressure on the last play. They're about to pin their ears back now.
A 3rd down and 15. Good protection. Clausen delivers, and it's intercepted. That is Patrick Peterson, the 3-time Pro Bowl corner. He's been to 4 Pro Bowls overall. His 16th interception of his career.
Here's Peterson, 21. He's so good at coverage. Adam Gase, the offensive coordinator of the Bears, said there's often when he watches him on film, you think he's the receiver running the route instead of the other way around. He locked in so well, and he cut to the ball long before the receiver had an idea he was even there. Marquise Wilson turned around and had to play cornerback and was unable to knock it away from Patrick Peterson.
See only Patrick Peterson, 16, bettered by Richard Sherman for interceptions among all players in the NFL since Peterson came into the league. A 1st down rush for Johnson, Chris Johnson, who had a very quiet first half. He had 6 carries for 25 yards. Nothing wrong with that 4.2 yards per carry average. Not a bit. You remember everyone was talking about how slowed down he had become, right? Last year with the Jets. I think everyone was stunned when they went back and looked and saw that his yards per carry with the Jets last year was 4.3. So he may not look the same. We may not get the 80-plus yard bursts we've gotten out of him as frequently as in the past, but he still has a chance to be a productive back. Gain a 4 on 1st down. They'll pitch it right back to Palmer, looking to the end zone, and it is a touchdown for Larry Fitzgerald. But there is a penalty flag as here's some pushing and shoving and fighting going on. Pernell McPhee in the middle of all that, along with Carson Palmer.
What an unbelievable catch by Larry Fitzgerald. Standing right here. I mean, he got dragged down to the ground. I'm surprised he's kept that ball and held on to it.
They wait on the penalty.
During the play, personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 92, low tackle into the pass. The result of the play is a touchdown. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
And this is one of those big strikes that Bruce Arians draws up. Flea flicker. And as Tony noted, Shea McClellan actually got it draped in, got the arm on Larry Fitzgerald. That's interference. But they just decided to keep the flag in the pocket because Fitzgerald caught the ball for the touchdown. But here's the penalty. Pernell McPhee going low at Carson Palmer. And the pushing and shoving afterwards is the sensitivity of Arizona. That's their quarterback who hurt his knee last year. They can't afford to lose that guy.
Well, of course, he hurt his knee last year, and on a very similar play to that one, going all the way back to his Bengal days, the first series of that playoff game in 2005 against the Steelers. Same thing, and Palmer was knocked out for a year. A 2-touchdown game for Larry Fitzgerald.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Burger King. Try our Oreo Red Velvet Shake. Now you can have your cake and drink it too.
Of course, it is rare in September where the Bears are not the talk of the town, but right now that belongs to the Chicago Cubs and the way they are playing. The interception by Peterson. Fitzgerald for the first time in a game since 2013, a pair of touchdowns. And after the penalty, it's booted into the stands.
And look at Patrick Peterson. He saw that throw the whole way from Jimmy Clausen from off position and coverage and came up and got it. That led to this. Now watch right there. Freeze. This offensive line did not fire off like a full run play. They made sure they held their position for the pass. Chicago thought it was a run, and then Shea McClellan late actually did interfere with Larry Fitzgerald, even though there was no flag. Tremendous concentration and catch by Fitzgerald. On the flea flicker, big strike play drawn up by Bruce Arians and the offensive staff.
Third touchdown pass of the game by Carson Palmer. He's been intercepted one time. Crowd booing the play calling. It's a 35-20 game, and we have nearly an entire half left of football.
And this crowd is upset by what they're seeing. See James Betcher, the defensive coordinator. Look at what they're getting now. The takeaways, the points off of the takeaways. That's an Arizona Cardinals defense. Ray Horton was the coordinator. They were aggressive. Todd Bowles, who's now the head coach of the Jets.
Yep.
And James Betcher was on staff and has continued that tradition.
Yeah, he was the outside linebackers coach under Bowles.
False start, illegal snap, offense number 64. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Let's take a look at what we get. Will Montgomery, the center. That reminds me of, you know when you have the Turkey Bowl, Thanksgiving, and you all get together and play football?
Sure.
Remember the old center sneak where you fake the snap?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, but the quarterback touched the hit so I can take it and keep it myself. Will Montgomery with his version.
Yeah, that's some old school talk right there. A lot of people at home are saying, what are you talking about, man? You got to be at least 40 to understand that, I think.
You know what I'm talking about, Goose, in the Turkey Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And then that would mean there'd be a 5-minute fight afterwards, everybody screaming at each other, and then we go back in for more food.
Exactly.
That one read beautifully by Matthew. It brings up third down and 15 for the Bears. They need to get out to the 30-yard line to convert. With 11:20 to play here in the third quarter.
Look how Arizona's just bouncing around on defense. I don't think they respect Jimmy Clausen at all. They're just going to come after him.
Forte just gets whatever he can get. And he's up to the 27. The Bears will punt it away.
The versatility of this Arizona Cardinals defense, Tony, is striking to me in terms of these safeties who can play linebacker. They can move back and play the safety position. Tyrann Mathieu can play all over.
A lot of speed back there.
They can run.
You know, the one thing they don't have, and really outside of the one season that Abraham had, was the big pass rusher, the game-changing pass rushers. Not to say they don't have those players on their roster. As this one is brought back up to the 25, we'll revisit that. How about a little time here late in the summer, early fall, right along Lake Michigan. Water's still pretty nice right now. October means baseball. FS1 will continue to be your home for postseason action. The American League Division and Championship Series. All the drama begins October the 8th on FS1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
How about the Texas Rangers race lately, huh?
Been on a roll. Duking it out with their in-state brethren, the Houston Astros.
Still getting used to that. The Astros being in the American League.
Well, and they don't like it in Houston. They don't like it a little bit.
Look at that. 25 offensive plays, 35 points, which is sensational. Now, that's abetted by kickoff return, touchdown. Tony Jefferson, interception return, touchdown. But still, that's pretty significant. Bruce Arians making sure that ball gets downfield to help out his offense.
Good running room for Johnson on second down. He's up to close to the 35. That's where he needs to be for a first down. And it is enough. Got to go back to 2006 during his days as a Bengal. Since Carson Palmer had back-to-back 3 touchdown games, and he has a chance to do a lot better than that today. Gain of a couple of yards on first down again by Chris Johnson. Well, the Cardinals felt very fortunate that last week's injury, knee injury to Andre Ellington, was not nearly as severe as they initially thought. Missed the final 4 games of last year with a core injury. This guy's a nice player when he's in that backfield.
And to be able to get Chris Johnson, who's a similar type player to Andre Ellington, so you don't have to change much in terms of scheme. It's an excellent pickup for them in the offseason.
Palmer lets it fly for Floyd and defended, nearly caught on the tip by Floyd, but it's incomplete. Great coverage by Alan Ball.
Carson Palmer took a double whammy. Pernell McPhee 92 and Jared Allen 69 got to him back. But look at the play on the ball by Alan Ball, number 24 for Chicago, but it almost landed in the chest of Michael Floyd. Anybody having a Super Bowl flashback late in the game with Seattle and Jermaine Kearse, who also wore number 15?
Yep. Third down and 9. From the Cardinal 37-yard line. Bears coming after Palmer, who gets it away. And that is Larry Fitzgerald inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line.
Very impressed. Carson Palmer getting this ball off. Jared Allen comes from the bottom, but here's Larry Fitzgerald, the University of Pittsburgh grad, like we talked about, carried the defender for about 8 more yards. It's very impressive, Carson Palmer getting that ball off, because he had to feel the pressure coming from the outside.
I mean, Jared Allen was just simply a free rusher, Tony, a free runner to the quarterback. And as you noted, he felt the pressure, ball got out of his hand quickly, sharply to Fitzgerald.
I don't know if that's the guy you want to keep uncovered, though.
No, I don't want him to be the free
12
runner.
men on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Sherrick McManus failing to get off the field for Chicago. For the Bears, penalty-wise, oftentimes going the wrong way. Look at Fitzgerald. We talked about no targets to him in the opening quarter. Not bad since.
Yeah, we didn't expect that to continue, but once he broke out in a big way. The major number there being the 2 touchdowns scored.
Palmer going to throw it on first down. Great protection this time. And once more looking for Fitzgerald, and once more the reception made inside the 15-yard line. Another first down.
You know that
20-yard gain.
Tom, you know that term about throwing a receiver open that we like to toss around so much? This is a great example of it. It doesn't look like a well-thrown ball, but because he had the 2 guys in his vision, he threw it to an open spot and took Larry Fitzgerald to the open spot. See, Fitz could look back and see the quarterback. The defenders could not. Lamar Houston had his back to the ball, but rather than throw it and make it a tougher contested pass, Carson Palmer threw it to an open stretch and made Larry Fitzgerald go get it.
Chris Johnson dragged down by Will Sutton, coming down the line of scrimmage to wrap him up. Short gain on first down.
Tony, don't you think Arizona would love to be able to run the ball significantly here the rest of this half?
Absolutely. Just wear the clock out.
That and what they did last year. Remember how much trouble they had running the football? And they've had that for really about a decade now. I think they'd really like to take this opportunity and let those big guys go to work and see if they can carve out some holes so Carson doesn't have to throw it all the time.
That's interesting you bring it up. They have not had a runner eclipse over 700 yards over the last 3 years. The pitch to David Johnson, and he will find the end zone for the second time in a game. A 108-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and now the more conventional way. This guy has already scored in 3 touches of the ball in his career. A 55-yard touchdown catch, a kickoff return, and now a rushing attempt for a touchdown.
And every level got a block. Offensive line, and then at the second, there's Belvier, number 68. And then look at the end zone there. That's John Brown, the wide receiver, occupying. So you got everyone involved in the run game there, and any big run you have means receivers block well on the perimeter.
So now the point after, 41 to 20, 42 to 20. So they rolled the coattails of Fitzgerald to get close, and the youngster caps it off with a score.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Watch live local games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon.
Well, this season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. This one has been blown wide open.
You know,
after the touchdown by David Johnson.
Tom, you know that NFL Mobile just another way for all of us to get in trouble, right?
Yes.
We're not paying attention at home.
Absolutely.
Right? You're locked in on a game.
Oh, yeah. Out of the back of the end zone. Antrell Roll trying to keep this Bears defense together. There's still a long way to go in this one. Well, it's tough enough when you're down 42 to 20 in the third quarter, but that much more difficult with your number 2 quarterback in the game. And that is the story, as Jimmy Clausen will throw on first down. And it's caught by Eddie Royal, stays on his feet, a first down up to the 34. The Bears were moving the ball up and down the field very effectively under Jay Cutler. He threw this interception, and while attempting to make a tackle was injured. And again, they're saying a hamstring injury, what we're being told, to Jay Cutler.
First thought was when he hit the ground, maybe it hurt his shoulder, or bounced his head off of the turf. But chasing those big guys, he may have pulled a hammy.
Forte, good running room, breaks it to the outside, and able to break another tackle and carries all the way down to the 38-yard line.
There are times when I see Matt Forte run that I wonder if he leaves footprints in the snow at times. He is so light on his feet. The vision he has, watch the jump cut in the hole. Right there, look at that. He just changes direction so easily. Great vision, gets to the outside to gain the additional yardage. Matt Forte, he's special.
More significant ball movement with Clausen in the game. And the carry is Jaquiz Rogers. There is a penalty flag down. That was good enough for a first down to the 25, but will it stand?
I doubt it. I think that's the umpire threw it.
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That may help tell us why there was such a nice hole on the left side, too. Vladimir Dukas getting called for the hold. So this would be Dukas here. See what happens. Working there on Dayon Buchanan. I guess he kind of spun him a little bit. I guess that's what they were saying, is he spun him around with one of his big paws. But that's kind of a tough one to me.
back him up to the 45-yard line. And Martellus Bennett shot down at the 39, so they pick up a pretty decent chunk of yardage after the penalty. As we close in on 4 minutes to play in the third.
Kyle Long, we've talked about him playing essentially one-handed today. And Tyrann Mathieu tried to jump up and be Superman, and Kyle Long took a little offense to that, didn't he?
Kyle Long is a defensive lineman that happens to play on the offensive line. You gotta love him.
Tackled as he was trying to make the handoff by Frosty Rucker was Clausen. And very fortunate that Long was the one who found the football.
Tony, is this a great example of get off by a defensive lineman?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that's the most important thing that you could do is get off the line of scrimmage, and penetration every time. I'll tell you what, this kills an offense, no matter what they're trying to do, whether it's run or pass.
Unfortunately, Kyle Long was able to come back and get on the football.
Third down at 17 in the hands of Royal. And he's inside the 35 to the 33, which will leave them 4 or 5 yards short of a first down. And they'll send out once more Robbie Gould, who's perfect so far today and this season.
He just broke Kevin Butler's franchise record for field goals in a career. Kevin here today with other members of the '85 Bears team that won the Super Bowl.
Of course, he also came to watch his son.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He played for the Cardinals.
51-yarder, and it is good for Robbie Gould. He also broke the franchise record in that category. Field goals of 50 yards or longer. 42-23. 42-23. It looks like Carson Palmer will be coming out for at least one more offensive series. I wonder, Charles, how long do you want to stay with Palmer? He's taken some hits today.
Yeah, I would. The first possibility, I think I'd get him out. Drew Scan did a nice job for him last year before he was injured. And Carson Palmer, while he's taken some hits, he's also had a chance to have a clean pocket to take some big attempts downfield. Look at that. And even with the interference, Larry Fitzgerald catches it. And this one, look at this. Carson Palmer, look at the offensive line and running backs giving him that time to throw Larry Fitzgerald open. Yes, he's taken some hits, but he's also been able to throw out of the rocking chair a few times. It's worked out quite well for him.
The Bears still do not have a sack, Tony, so far this year.
Yeah, with all that time in the pocket and the speed of the receivers, I mean, that's a deadly combination.
We were getting back, though, to something we were trying to talk about earlier, and that's the ability at the end of the day for a Cardinal team to, run the football. Over the last decade, they have never had higher than a 23rd place finish among all teams in the NFL. In 5 of the last 10 years, they were either last or next to last in rushing offense. Only one time in the last 11 years have they averaged over 100 yards per game rushing as a team. So, it's always fun in this day and age, Charles, to sling it around and touchdown passes. Tony chimed in as well. But, there are times at the end of the day where an effective running game is critically important.
Absolutely. Tom, in the big games, you need to control the clock. And the running game just opens up the passing game, in my opinion. That's why when I played with the Ravens, it was so important for us to stop the run early. Because if you don't, if they can go and, time after time, get 5-yard chunks, 8-yard chunks on you and consistently run the ball, then all of a sudden you got to play that play action. Everybody feels like they have to get involved. And the play action, that's when the big ones hit you downfield. So the more that they can run the ball, the better their passing game is going to be.
Third down and 3. They're going to throw. Great protection. And it's incomplete. It looked as though Jerron Brown was going to turn around and come back, and Palmer thought he was taking off long.
Yeah, they got caught in between on that one, trying to read each other. Jerron Brown on top of that bunch. And he gets downfield, and he's looking outside first. And then he realizes Carson Palmer was looking inside, and it's a little bit too late.
False start. Offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
15 penalties called in this game, and if you're a Bear, you don't want to look at a game film. Bears have been hit with 10 penalties for 145 yards in this game. Of course, 2 big ones on pass interference calls, which eventually led to Cardinal touchdowns. Really came to get that one. Mariani from the 40. Back upfield, crosses midfield, and caught from behind, but a nice return by Mariani. There's a long way to go in this one. And great field position for Chicago. First down for Jimmy Clausen, who's replaced an injured Jay Cutler, and there's another penalty.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Sloppy, 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 guys.
Yeah, Foxy, John Fox, the head coach, he's got some work. He's got his work cut out in front of him now.
Yep.
Trying to put this together. Remember, it's his team that's lacking in confidence as well. They've lost 6 straight games over the last 2 seasons. And they've got to try, obviously trying to find that formula that unlocks the key to success.
Well, they overhauled the entire operation for a second time in 3 years. New general manager, new head coach, flag down again. Completed pass, and Bennett able to rumble forward, and he's inside the 45 to the 44, but again we wait on the penalty, which appears to be against Chicago. It would be the Bears' 12th.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
And when Arizona's not worried about anything but you throwing the football, these penalties will pile up. You see it right there. Bushrod working against, I can't even see the number of the rusher there. Was that Woodley, 56? I believe it was Lamar Woodley. But these penalties pile up because what's Arizona worried about you running the football right now with a 42-23 advantage? They're just coming after you.
This series began inside the 45 the other way. Cameron Meredith just activated for this one, makes a catch, his first of the day, and that'll be the final play of the 3rd quarter. A game thus far dominated by the Arizona Cardinals. 42-23. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Well, we mentioned the Bears, a lot of work to do. 5-11 a season to go. Through 3 quarters, closing in on a franchise record in penalty yards. You've got to go all the way back to World War II. The last time the Bears committed this many penalties for at least a total number of yards in a single game. Clausen, nowhere near the intended receiver, Marquise Wilson. Good coverage out there by Minter.
Did you say 1944?
1944.
So was Papa Bear coaching the team then, or was that Hunk Anderson? Who was that? And was Greasy Neal the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles then? I mean, my goodness,
Man,
guys.
you're pulling some names out of the past.
Come
now.
on, help me out.
World War II.
That's enough.
Your files go way back, don't they?
We're talking about way back. Yeah.
They're no longer classified.
Were you in high school or college?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Boy, you're something. Clausen sacked all the way back to the 35. Yeah.
And that was Marcus Golden who got him, who's a rookie from Missouri. He was involved in that play. Also, so 96, Kareem Martin.
Charles, if you're wondering.
Look at Golden on the pass rush there, taking Bushrod back. So Kareem Martin came from the other side, working on Kyle Long. This is a tough one because Martin got underneath Long and got him back to the quarterback.
Papa Bear stepped away after the 1942 year. Hartley, Hunk Anderson, and Luke Johnsos were the dual coaches, 43, 44, 45. And Papa Bear said, I'm coming back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Xbox One, the official game console of the NFL. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
River flows right out into Lake Michigan, downtown Chicago. And Carson Palmer still in there slinging it around. He just throws it away on first down. Penalty flag down again. This one in the secondary. And I believe this is against Chicago, and if so, it may shatter the team
illegal
record.
contact. Defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
No, they're not there yet. They're 5 yards short.
The top defense, Alan Ball here, 24. Guess they got him past the 5-yard bump rule, bump line.
You know, the amazing thing about that game we were referring to in 1944 against the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Bears had 170 penalty yards. They won that game 28-7. The next year they went 3-7. And Papa Bear Hallis said enough is enough. In 1946, he was back on the sideline, and they went 8-2-1, and he would not step aside again until the end of the 1955 season. And of course, then
Came back again.
he came back again.
One more title in
After
1963.
Patty Driscoll. Well, it's interesting to know you talk about Driscoll as another penalty flag is down. When the Bears hired John Fox as their head coach this season, it was the first time since 1956, their last 8 head coaches that they have hired that had NFL head coaching experience.
Outside, offense, number 11. The player lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Now, obviously, I'm not including the times where Papa Bear Hallis came back.
Right.
But outside of him, you have to go back to Patty Driscoll in 1956.
And there's Mrs. McCaskey,
Yep.
owner of the team. Wow. So Neil Armstrong, too? I mean, we're talking none of them. That's amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
You don't get it as often. It's usually a big news story in the NFL.
Recent years, Mark Trestman, of course, he had head coaching experience in
Canada.
Canadian football.
Look at that.
And Mike Ditka had never been a head coach. And Lovie Smith had never been a head coach.
Guys, I got some news. No flag on that play.
Hard to believe.
Now, I will ask this question, though. Number 3 still on the field for Arizona. As you see, look at the road game scoring. 44 games ago. The last time they were 40-plus points. But, guys, number 3 still on the field. Carson Palmer. I might have thought he might have gone ahead and made that move here, knowing he's coming off with a knee injury and how valuable he is. They could go to Drew Stanton and get him a little work.
Of course, the 2 ways of looking at all that is they're going to turn around and hand it to Johnson again. An excellent running room across midfield of the 45 is it's a blowout game. You don't want to get him hurt in a blowout game. The flip side of it is he's coming all the way back from an injury, and you'd like to get him more reps. Not that a 13-year veteran would need reps,
but it makes
the line of thinking.
Plus in the run game, him getting the ball to the backs, all that footwork that goes with that, we could find it all those ways. I would err on the side of caution with Carson Palmer myself, but I don't remember Bruce Arians asking me. I don't think he's like, I got this. You guys take it.
You look no further than last year what happened with Arizona. Palmer going down twice. The opening week after his shoulder injury, came back in the ACL. Obviously not getting any younger. When he's been in since coming to Arizona, they've been mighty good. Trying to win his 8th in a row. That would be a franchise record, his 15th in the last 17. Jim Hart, the last Cardinal quarterback to win 7 straight. And you see overall with Palmer, outstanding numbers. Without him, 5-5.
Now, we did have a Cardinals quarterback that got to, what, 10 in a row at one point? So he's chasing that person's record, and I believe that happened when they were still in Chicago. So we got to go back a ways.
11 minutes to play, and Palmer's going to keep throwing the football. And overthrows Johnson.
So that would have been Ray Mallouf, M-A-L-L-O-U-F. He won 10 straight. Since we're going back to World War II, we're going to go ahead and age another 48. This is 1948.
And actually, that was Tony Siragusa was chasing him around last time we saw number 22.
Me and him played in the Turkey Bowl together.
Did he run the center sneak? And look at it with multiple numbers. And I used to love those photos.
Look at his socks, though. He would get fined now playing in the NFL. The socks going all the way up. Man, I'll tell you, things have really changed.
But Tony, once the Turkey Bowl was over, if it was you or him to muscle your way to dig into the stuffing and the mashed potatoes, who's going to win that battle?
Listen, that would have probably been the biggest fight. He would have had no shot. Absolutely no shot. I would have threw the scraps over to him. Whatever was left. Thanksgiving's a big day in my house.
Hey, Tony, we talked earlier about Arizona wanting to be able to run the football better. You know, Tom pointed out the great statistics, how they haven't been that great over the last decade.
Yep.
This seems to be that time where that's really being worked on.
Yeah, they're getting confidence right now. The offensive line is firing off. You know, they're moving the ball. Obviously, they're working the clock right now, but you know, this Arizona team is a strong team. Last year, obviously a big contender until they lost Carson Palmer, but I'm excited to see what they can do this year.
Timeout called by Chicago. Week continues later. Some of you on CBS, and tonight Sunday Night Football, a good one there. Cowboys, Eagles, Seahawks, and the Packers tonight. And Monday Night Football tomorrow night. 4th down, and the Cardinals are going for it on 4th down and 4, leading 42-23. Or are they?
Hard count, just trying to see if they'll draw them off.
Well, why not take a shot? When a team's committed 165 yards in penalties, you may as well give it a go.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And that's just a game rep of something you do in practice. Right now you got a live game rep. Let's just see how that looks. Make sure that we don't jump when we're trying to sit in there and hold, talking about the Cardinals. Make sure that they maintain their discipline in a game situation as opposed to just repping it in practice and maybe needing it later.
Well, there's going to be, wow, no penalty called, and the kicker was absolutely barreled over. And the punter is turned around there. Drew Butler saying, you got to be kidding. Let's check in with the game break quickly back in Los Angeles.
Guys, Panthers and Texans, watch this run. Watch this athleticism from Cam Newton. Up and over, Superman. Didn't stick the landing, but he still got 6. Panthers on top, 17-10 in the 4th. Charles, Tom, back to you.
Oh, my goodness. That's unbelievable.
Listen, you guys know from having worked with Cam, when you just see him, look out. He's something. And right there, he took the bump from Jacquizz Rodgers and went down, and the officials said, let's play on today.
The ball is down inside the 5-yard line. We still have 10 minutes and 3 seconds. Most of the noon Central Time games is diving forward to avoid a safety is Clausen. Most of the early games today are in the final minute.
Look at this. I think that he ended up playing shortstop here first. If the Cubbies need a utility guy for the playoffs, Jimmy Clausen showed the hands for it, and that's why he was able to grab it, fortunately. Otherwise, you either have a safety or a worse, and then he dove back to make sure he didn't get the safety. It's a good catch by Jimmy Clausen.
Well, many of those that showed up, or at least a number of those, in this sellout crowd, as every game is at Soldier Field, and made their way to the parking areas. It was the final 2 minutes of the opening half when a muffed punt, a turnover by Arizona, And then a Carson Palmer tipped pass by Jared Allen, which turned into an interception, gave the home team hope. But on both of those turnovers, they could only manage field goals, but it was still an 8-point game at halftime. But with Jimmy Clausen in for the injured Jake Cutler, the second half it's been pick, punt, field goal, punt. Boyle spun out of bounds out to the 7-yard line. Clock will continue to roll as the Bears are punting.
My man crush for the Cardinals safety continues to grow.
Wow.
They remind me of a 4-2-5 college defense where you put all your talent in the back end with hybrid guys who can play safety and corner and linebacker like a Tyrann Mathieu, who just exploded on that play, saw it, came from inside out, and made the sure tackle in the open field. Mathieu, Deion Buchanan, Rashad Johnson, Tony Jefferson, they all fit that mold of being able to play multiple positions in the secondary.
Peterson will let this one bounce. And then covered up at the 45-yard line. .746 to go, all Arizona.
This game is sponsored by the all-new Audi A3 e-tron plug-in hybrid. Plug in and take names.
Arizona with the football, and Carson Palmer still in the game at quarterback. Under 8 minutes to play, and the Cardinals leading big, 42-23. Palmer throwing, finds Fitzgerald, and a catch to the 33-yard line.
It's been a tough day for the Bears, hasn't it, guys? Look at Sheriff McManus covering this punt, and right off the top of the noggin. Even when you're doing all the things you're supposed to do, the ball finds you in the wrong way.
When things go bad, they really go bad.
Well, I suppose there is a chance, and Charles, Tony, you guys tell me, that with Palmer throwing the ball leading 42-23, and now looking at Fitzgerald for the end zone, the ball is broken up. You know, we saw a number of the Bears that appeared to be angry a moment ago when it looked like they were going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, nice pass breakup here. Terrence Mitchell and Bruce Arians keeping the hammer down, but what a nice play by Mitchell, the University of Oregon product. Reaches right over the top, knocks it away, and gets some help from Adrian Amos, the rookie, in the inside, but that play was Mitchell's. The frustration can boil over when you're getting beat pretty badly, and you just don't want to feel like you're getting embarrassed, and that may be part of it. Kind of that unwritten code. Hey, you got enough of a lead, right? Maybe. Or it's just the fact that they haven't played well today and they're frustrated.
Tony, you know, you've been down there. I mean, if you're on the Bears defense, you upset they're throwing the ball here with 6 minutes to go and they're clobbering you?
No, I'm not upset at them. I'm upset at my guys. I'm saying, hey, listen, you know, this is the league. This is the big leagues, man. This isn't Pop Warner, you know, where the moms are going to go get upset because, you know, you ran it up on Johnny. I mean, this is what we do for a living. Right now, you know, Carson Palmer and the Arizona Cardinals are getting reps. They're getting stuff on film. They're trying different things. This is what it's all about. There's a lot of time left on the clock, and, you know, you don't want to go and give up anything as a defense. But if it's not working out, you guys got to find a way to get it done.
That's very close to a first down. They needed to get to the 22-yard line. It looks like they're just short. So do they go for it here on 4th down and a yard, or go ahead and kick a field goal?
I think they're going to go for it because now it's a chance, as Tony just mentioned. If you're working on things, Tony, here's your chance to work on short yardage, right?
Yeah, especially with the new collective bargaining agreement and how many reps these guys get during the week. I mean, when I played, it was unlimited. Now it's, you know, they don't get a lot of time. So right now, they're gaining information. The offense coordinator, the defense coordinator, whoever's out there on the field, you're getting information and seeing what your guys can do.
And this is a chance now for the offensive line to show that they, short yardage, you can move people and create a first down. See if Bruce Arians is having a second thought about it with the timeout.
All right, we'll take a break. A 4th down upcoming. 42-23. Arians Cardinals are in front. We're going to keep it right here with 5:46 left here at Soldier Field. So, all right, fellas, we're going to see the Arizona Cardinals each of the next 3 weeks. You know, it's interesting. At last check, and we don't have the very up to the second numbers. Maybe some of you are seeing those on the bottom of your screen, which we can't see right at this moment. But, you know, the Rams got off to the great start last week where in overtime they beat Seattle. Seattle plays tonight in Green Bay. But the Rams, at last check, were losing in D.C. and the 49ers are just getting clobbered in Pittsburgh. So this could be a very important early season win for Arizona.
It really can, because you get yourself a couple clear in the division, especially in that division, because it's a very tough division in terms of physicality, closeness in terms of matchups with teams. Even a few, was it 3 years ago, the Rams didn't come close to the playoffs, yet they won the division at 4, not the division, but they had the best record within division games at 4-1-1.
Right.
So you can't take anyone for granted in that division. So this is a very important day for Arizona to make an early statement about being consistent. You know, and Tony, the Bears last week didn't want to hear any talk about a moral victory, about what they did against Green Bay, about how well they played them. But it gave people a lot of excitement around the city that, hey, maybe we've gotten a lot better in a short amount of time, didn't it?
Yeah. You know, this is just a perfect example of, you know, your quarterback takes you as far as you're going to go. With Jay Cutler out here, this is a completely different team. A lot of reps here on their defense. You know, Jay Cutler is their offense. It's just, you know, it's tough. It's tough to take in. I've been in this situation right now where the Bears are, where you're trying to find themselves, got a new coach, you're trying to, you know, get things done, and all of a sudden you run into a game like this. They just got to go and finish it, and because the coaches are watching right now more than ever of who's doing their job, who's getting things done. In a situation where your back is against the wall.
With fourth down, they're going to throw it. And again, depending on the spot, they didn't need much, but they didn't get much. I'm not sure this is enough for a first down.
Very short route to Larry Fitzgerald out on the outside. He secures the catch. As you said, depends on the spot.
It is a first down.
Looks like they're moving it, though.
Yep.
And, you know, with Larry Fitzgerald's experience, it's not often he's going to run a route that'll make it that close or not run deep enough to pick up the first down. I saw that in a few of the college games last night. Guys not running the route properly to the proper depth. That's not a problem with Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he actually peeks to see where the yard marker is to make sure he gets that first down on that catch.
Under 5 to go. We send it back to Los Angeles for a game break.
Guys, remember America's Game of the Week? Tony Romo without Dez Bryant in Philadelphia, taking on the Eagles, and former teammate DeMarco Murray, who'll probably get more than the 8 carries he got last week, especially against his former team. Eagles boys next on Fox. Tom Charles, back to you.
Mike Hill. One thing I know about Mike Hill, you hand him the ball, he'll take it 25 times a game. He's not worried about getting 8 carries. Mike Hill will take it 25. Look at Larry Fitzgerald today. Talk about age all you want. He just ages gracefully.
He had a pair of 100-yard receiving games a season ago. He had 2 the year before that. And here we are in week 2 in 2015. And Fitzgerald, 7 receptions, 103 yards, and a pair of touchdowns.
And was real quiet at the beginning of the game also. The first quarter, I don't think he had a reception.
No, he did not.
Not even a target.
Yeah, and you know, and he's just a pro. He goes, waits for his time, and when it counts, though, when the ball comes to him, he's going to catch it. Like we saw in one touchdown play where the defender who had his arm around his neck was dragging him down to the ground, and he concentrated on that ball. He's a special guy right there, Larry Fitzgerald.
I didn't write it down, Tony. Where did he go to college?
I think he went to really unbelievable university, the University of Pittsburgh, by the way, just to let you know that.
That'll be another Arizona first down inside the 10-yard line. Charles, your alma mater, getting a big win after a tough loss a week ago.
Yeah,
the Volunteers.
Because you know when Tennessee and Western Carolina get together, you just throw the record books right out.
Be careful now.
Right, the catamounts. I felt bad for him because Tennessee needed that one in a big way.
So what do you guys think about the game tonight? Dallas and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh, that's a good game.
Oof.
Good game.
It doesn't really matter what their record is, who's playing, who's not playing. That is always a tough one.
And Philly's got to have it tonight.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Fitzgerald trying to find the end zone for the third time, and he does! Larry Fitzgerald would not be denied. He took on Terrence Mitchell one-on-one and said, take that, his third touchdown of the game.
How about how Fitzgerald catches the ball, lays the wood to Terrence Mitchell with the straight arm. Look at this. Will not be denied reaching out for the touchdown. And then at the end, did you see the compassion afterwards? Larry Fitzgerald helped Terrence Mitchell up and gave him a hug like, hey, you tried. But during the time of the play, I'm going to get what I need. But afterwards, young man, good effort.
That was 5 yards. Terrence Mitchell had him at the 5, and Larry just wouldn't be denied, like Tom said.
And the point after is no good. But the story today is Larry Fitzgerald. 112 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, and great sportsmanship. The cherry on top of the sundae. Larry Fitzgerald, his first career regular season game with 3 receiving touchdowns. Many will recall the other 3 touchdown game for Fitzgerald came with the money on the line. NFC Championship, January 2009, sending the Cardinals to their first trip to the Super Bowl, defeating the Philadelphia Eagles. Our guys have been hanging out on the red carpet all day tonight. After the final numbers are in, the biggest stars come out. That depends on who you're talking to. 67th Emmy Awards live on Fox. Andy Samberg hosts. Don't miss the 67th Emmy Awards live after America's Game of the Week right here on Fox.
Great opportunity for Andy Samberg, Saturday Night Live alum. He does a lot of those shorts, I think, Funny or Die.
You're dialed in on all the entertainment.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Man, I wouldn't know him if he walked in his booth, but I guess I'll see him tonight. There's a catch made up to the 42-yard line. Our game today produced by Mark Titleman, directed by Greg Scopatone. Our associate director, Alex Olson. Our broadcast associate, Jordan Wolf. Bob Muller, our technical producer. Our technical director is Dane Crawford. And as always, up here in the booth, we thank Scott Studley Snyder, our spotter, and Tom Barbary, our statistician. Catch made, and Martellus Bennett inside the 40. And that'll take us, or it should, unless that'll stop the clock. Apparently it does with 2:05 left.
Got over the sideline. Good catch and run by Bennett, and great awareness getting to the sideline. Trying to conserve a little bit of extra time as they try and get a cosmetic touchdown down the stretch.
Lawson for the injured Jay Cutler. That's a good throw right there. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. That is a catch. Clock stopped. Big day for Fitzgerald. His Cardinals 2 minutes away from a 2-0 start. I guess they're taking a look at that last play to see A, if it was a catch, and B, was it good enough for a first down.
See Marquise Wilson going up for the football. Comes down.
Nope.
And it's the process of the catch right all the way through, correct?
Correct.
They come down both feet. Really didn't have a chance to make that so-called football move because of the tackle. And the ball's coming out at the end.
But was the knee down there before?
Yeah, it looks like the knee was down.
Yeah, it did.
I think it is a catch, guys.
Yep, I think you're right.
As soon as that knee's down, the play's over.
After reviewing the play, the rule of the field is confirmed. The receiver caught the ball, got 2 feet down and his left knee before the ball was knocked out. Arizona's charge is second timeout.
I guess theoretically, do you find it rather odd, or is it just me? You see a play like that, right? Both feet inbounds, caught it, knee goes down, ball comes out, as opposed to a receiver on the sideline or in the end zone, makes a catch, both feet get in, falls down to the ground, rolls over. If he doesn't stand up with the ball in his hand and under control, it's not a catch.
No catch. It throws you to me, it throws me every time. It's the old, if you have 100 people gathered watching the game, probably 99 think it's a catch.
Well, we were here.
And that throws you.
4 years ago on the Calvin Johnson.
You were here for
play.
that. Last year, Des Bryant against Green Bay in the playoffs took it a little bit further to where they clarified the rule in the offseason. Tried to clarify it further for the officials to try and clean it up a little bit. It's a tough one. Bottom line is, whatever you do when you catch the ball, don't let it go. It's that simple. Don't let it go.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, for the Cardinals today, in a city they once called home, 108-yard kickoff return started the day. They had an interception return for a touchdown by Tony Jefferson. First time that's happened since 1974. And Fitzgerald, first time in the regular season with 3 receiving touchdowns. And again, the only other time he's done it ever in his pro career was in the NFC Championship of January '09. Incomplete. Well, having said all that, we also have on the dubious side of the history record books for John Fox's Bears. They have officially tied a team record with 170 penalty yards.
Won't be much hip hip hooray in the locker room for tying that record.
Well, they're blitzing Clausen. And he gets it away just before taking a big hit.
And you're talking about the Bears and John Fox, who was my defensive coordinator at the University of Pittsburgh once again, guys. When I was there, no sacks for this team in 2 games.
Yep.
I mean, that's, you got to put pressure on the quarterback in order to be successful in this league.
At least this time they got some knockdowns of Carson Palmer. They didn't get that with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
So hopefully they're getting closer.
I mean, they're going against 2 quarterbacks who they get rid of the ball really quick, make quick decisions, but you got to get in there and get a sack.
Tony, you told a nice story during our meeting last night about John Fox and looking inside the more personal side of Fox during your days together at Pitt.
So I was a junior at the University of Pittsburgh, and we were in a game, actually a spring game, and I blew my left knee out, blew my ACL out, and I was in the hospital and with my mom and just got, surgery. And John Fox, who was the defense coordinator at the University of Pittsburgh, was the only guy on the staff who came by to see if I was all right 2 times. And I never forgot that. As a matter of fact, before the game today, I said, John, I still don't ever forget. He goes, don't worry about it. I go, no. That's something that's big with me, and I have a lot of respect for that guy. He looks after his players. He's a great human being, a great dad, a great husband. He's a guy that's a role model, and I look up to John as a role model also.
And of course, he very much looked up to his father, did John Fox. His dad, Ron, a United States Navy SEAL. He left the largest naval base on the East Coast, Virginia Beach, Virginia, where he was born. And then when his dad became in SEAL training out in San Diego, that is when the family moved west.
That's something. I mean, talk about service to country. And Tony, there was one other piece. I want to make sure I got it right. Your mom was there, but you had recently lost your father, hadn't you?
True, very true.
And there's John Fox showing up. I mean, when you get that out of a coach, what they always say, you can coach them as hard as you want if they know you care about them. There you go.
Your players, listen to me. If you do little things like that for your players, they'll fight with you to the end. That's John Fox is going to be successful here in Chicago. I can tell you that.
Well, he has work to do. Blitz coming after Clausen. Off the back foot, airs it out for the end zone, and it's incomplete. He had an open Eddie Royal. 4th down, and that's the way it ends.
And the reason he's not able to complete that, because he had pressure in his face. You won't see it here because you're going to see the route Eddie Royal running towards the flag, and he's open. But Jimmy Clausen had to put a lot of air underneath the ball and get rid of it a count early because Tyrann, the Honey Badger Matthew, was right in his face and made him get rid of the football and force the incompletion. You see Bruce Arians, and right behind him is Steve Keim, general manager. To the left there was Michael Bidwell, the owner of the team.
And now taking a knee is Palmer. You know, for the Bears, Charles, it doesn't get any easier. I mean, they have not beaten a playoff team, a team that made the playoffs, since Week 9 of 2013 when they beat Green Bay. And in that game, Seneca Wallace was the quarterback, not Aaron Rodgers. You go to Seattle next week, and there's a chance you're going there, a chance, against an 0-2 Seattle team. We'll see what happens tonight in Green Bay. Kansas City, rock solid. Detroit, a terrible start. I think we're both stunned. They're going to 0-2 to begin the year.
But a playoff team last year at 11-5. So you don't think that in 1 year that Detroit's regressed so much that you just look, oh, okay, we can play with them right now. They've got some work to do as well.
0-2, both losses at home for the second time in franchise history. 1973, the last time it happened.